the millions in hail damage we could have prevented if we'd only thought of this. There's a guy promising to fix your roof and throw in an AR-15. Can you do that? Last day at the state legislature and your elected officials are hard at work. They also debated how many people can sit on a porch smoking pot. A revelation about Bible Park is a testament to its popularity. Are those HOV lanes actually enforced? And an Air Force Cadets class project is a lifesaver. This is next. You don't need half a newscast to tell you that it rained today. It's going to clear up later through the week and into the weekend. We're certainly thankful that we avoided the hail today. It means that we can move on. But not before we give a shout out to the guy in Westminster who has invented an ingenious hail damage prevention device out of cardboard. Jill Ross sent us the picture and said, "Way to MacGyver it, dude." The driver told Jill he didn't have any prior hail damage. He's just a man who loves his truck. Midnight ends this year's legislative session at the state capitol, and our elected leaders are hard at work on the issues that matter. They will get right back to the issues that matter following the annual rubber band ball drop competition. That is nuts. Republican Vicki Marble of Fort Collins won, in case you want to make a rubber band ball drop into a partisan thing. Jared Cummings, an Independence Institute intern, snagged this video for us. We're much obliged. So back to those serious issues, like legislating exactly how many people can sit on a front porch smoking pot. In the closing hours of the session, legislators are debating a bill that would allow you to have 5 people over to get baked on your front porch. More than 5 people who do not live at the residence would break the law. Denver City Council decided in 2014 that it was okay to allow people to consume cannabis on their front porches in sight and smell of the passing public. Opponents say this isn't about how many people can fit onto a porch. It's about limiting secondhand smoke and nuisance issues. We will let you know if they decide on an exact number of the people that can come to your party. Roofers are getting creative to get your business after Monday's bad hailstorm. Maybe you saw the van around town that says, "Get a roof, get a gun." Yes, that is an actual thing, and we checked. It is completely legal. A man named James Webb created the company. He'll come out and fix your roof. He doesn't just hand you the gun. That would be super illegal. He gives you a voucher for a gun at a gun club. You go there, you do the background check, and then the roofing company will pay for the gun, the taxes, and the background check. You can get an AR-15, a shotgun, or a handgun. Webb says his business is through the roof, which is both literally true and a cringeworthy local news style play on words. Our next question comes from Dustin, who asks, "Just curious if the HOV lanes are now defunct on Santa Fe. I see people driving in the HOV with only the driver in the car. I've seen police cars in at least 2 municipalities ignore those drivers. If the lanes are no longer HOV, why are the lights and signs still up?" Dustin, our Steve Steger has your answer.
The short answer is no, they are not defunct. Back to you. No, just kidding. The cops are still out there writing tickets, even if the enforcement is tough.
The fading white paint makes you wonder, are these lanes still a thing? The signs say they are. HOV enforced northbound between 6 and 8:30 a.m. and southbound between 4 and 6:30 p.m. And the cops still say they're a thing.
We do still enforce the HOV lanes.
The lanes weave through 4 police jurisdictions: Littleton, Inglewood, Sheridan, and Denver. We asked for numbers of recent citations. Denver doesn't have a specific HOV ticket, but that could fall under misuse of lane assignment. DPD wrote 234 of those tickets in the last year and a half. Sheridan has a more specific ticket for HOV violation, and they wrote 166 of those tickets in 2016 alone.
Year to date, here in Sheridan, we've written 41.
That's Mark Campbell, Sheridan's chief. He says HOV enforcement is tough.
It's actually hard to identify a violator, actually catch up to them, and then safely pull them over.
Especially during rush hour on a busy street. That's Littleton PD's issue. They've only written 7 citations since January 1st of 2016 because it's tough to get a cop in a place where they can catch people. Sheridan's chief says he understands the temptation.
People are driving along, it's bumper to bumper. They see that wide open lane, and there's only a few cars in there.
And it's quite clear this isn't a new problem. Just listen to these HOV violators we interviewed 20 years ago for a story along Santa Fe.
I didn't even know I was in the HOV lane. I just pulled over in the lane and need to get over, I guess.
I normally have 2 people with me.
Oh wait, this guy's my favorite.
It's easier for me to go to McDonald's in this lane than it is than trying to cut all the way over at the last minute.
20 years later, the Sheridan chief says the #1 complaint he gets is from drivers begging his officers to enforce the law.
That people get really irritated when they're stuck in traffic and obeying the law and they see a single driver go by in a car in the HOV lane.
So many of you are sitting there thinking, wait, that HOV sign says 2+. I thought it was 3. We asked CDOT, they say HOV is only 3 in areas with an express lane where you'd already be paying a toll. And in case you're wondering, in case you're sitting in traffic, next time you see someone in that HOV lane, you get ticked off, you can do it if you're turning left. So keep an eye on them. They might be turning left.
To go to that McDonald's.
To go to the McDonald's, which apparently is on the left.
The dude who looked like Kurt Cobain was telling us about. Yeah. Hey, in 1997, that hairstyle was key. All right. Thank you, Steve. The city of Denver is now on Twitter, which is really exciting news if this is the year 2007. 10 years later, it's more like, how's the city of Denver not been on Twitter before now? So, good afternoon, Denver. The city and county of Denver is now on Twitter, #FirstTweet. You will forgive us for noticing that this tweet actually came out on Monday. It did take Denver a full decade to realize that Twitter is not a fad that's going away. So please, I invite you, follow the city, give them the business, welcome them to Twitter. Their Twitter handle is City of Denver. Don't at me, Mayor Hancock. Denver's new Twitter is going to get lit up by neighbors near Bible Park in southeast Denver, where convenience is now taking a backseat to safety. Accessing Bible Park is going to burn a few more calories than normal for the next year or so. Allow me to explain with a brief assist from the classic film True Lies. Andrew's out for a run at Bible Park, but he's not quite in Bible Park.
Since they closed the one on the other side, you can't get into it there, so you have to go all the way up to Yale from Hamden.
He's running outside the park because, well, Arnold, help me out.
The bridge is out!
Public safety is the cited reason that Denver closed 3 of the 4 pedestrian bridges that lead from neighborhoods into the tennis courts, the playgrounds, and the bench, where we might just shoot the next Colorado Confessions segment.
I was thinking about tweeting the city of Denver or asking them hey, when will the bridges be open?
This says it may not even be fixed until 2018 is the information we get.
Betsy tipped us off to the bridge closures when the one closest to her house on Quebec got blocked right in the middle of one of her walks.
If it was safe enough for me to walk over it in the morning at 8 o'clock, then it should have been at 11 o'clock.
I get the inconvenience. Look at the map. Depending on your side of the park, it could be a quarter mile up to a mile hike to get inside.
It only adds 3 or 4 minutes, but we're a healthy young couple. But a lot of people in the neighborhood, it's a lot more difficult for them.
I'm no bridge inspector, and neither is my friend.
The bridge is out!
But that bridge is clearly corroded and disconnected, and Parks and Rec handed us photos showing worse damage. Frustrating closures for sure, but they beat somebody falling tail over tea kettle through the bridge into Bible Park. Now, because those bridges go over the Highline Canal, that means the Denver Water has to get involved. They don't like construction between April and October. So don't expect the bridges until next year. And at this point, Denver only has funding for 2 out of the 3 unless somebody wants to tweet them a better idea. We are getting some feedback about the stock photos so often used on the news. Jay Barchis asked me about a graphic seen on 9 News yesterday. Jay wrote, "Where did it come from and why does 9 News choose to elevate Trump to some kind of 5-star war hero? Intentional or not, that illustration is a commercial for Trump and our military interventionism." I hear what you're saying, Jay, but I think you're reading a little bit too much into the graphic. It's a decent photo of President Trump, which is what we're going for here. There's a graphic team, works down the hall. They try to pick pretty neutral/positive photos of people for everyday use in graphics. I think the stars kind of echo the stars in the flag background. I don't know, Jay, maybe you're right, but sometimes a graphic is just a graphic. Take it from the expert. Just because more people are on Colorado's trails doesn't mean they'll get trashed. We're stalking a big bison built in a garage in Colorado. It's found a new home. And an Air Force cadet's invention is so good, the military wants it right now. This photo is not news. It's just baby owls, born recently in the Dancing Willows neighborhood off E470 in Bowles. Why are we showing them to you? Because they're adorable. They're baby owls. Look at them. They're so fuzzy and soft. And this is 12 seconds that we don't have to spend on some random crime that doesn't really affect you.
for cute animal pictures right before weather. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. The weather really is for the birds, isn't it? 3 days of rain, hail, thunderstorms, but it's all about to change. Yeah, the rain's moving into the city tonight after a day with temperatures well below average. The average is almost 70. We're going to get there on Friday. The low on the go finally, and that means the showers, which turn heavy tonight, will end and move out the storm system by about midday tomorrow. All the severe thunderstorm activity, southeastern Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas. And then we have a major shift in the weather pattern that will allow for a warming and drying trend that will see temperatures in the upper 70s on Friday and 80s for the Mother's Day holiday weekend. But tonight, we're still dealing with the potential for heavy rain, and on saturated soil, flood advisories will be posted and already out for areas in southeastern Colorado. It gets better after the fog and clouds. The showers in tomorrow morning. We'll get some sunshine, but temperatures cool to start. In the afternoon, we do anticipate we'll see highs in the mid-60s. Friday, not only is it Friday, but how about 78 degrees, a dry day. Low 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Only isolated storms to worry about for the upcoming holiday weekend, which is a nice change of pace. And in the high country, unbelievably, we're still monitoring the rain and snow tonight.
Kathy, thanks. Big Bison's on the move. I repeat, the Big Bison is on the move. Remember that amazing sculpture we showed you last week? The work of an artist named Gary Monaco who lives in Littleton. As we told you, the bison was headed for a new home in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Gary drove it up there, and it is now on display downtown with 56 other sculptures. Sioux Falls holds a big downtown sculpture walk. They say it's the largest in the country. So now everybody up in South Dakota is getting a look at Gary's artwork crafted out of thousands of pieces of metal. The bison's one of 9 sculptures in Sioux Falls from Colorado. People just keep moving to our state in part to enjoy our outdoors. Perhaps you've heard some discontent about that lately. And certainly there's a cost with the increase in people who are hiking, biking, riding our trails. Our photojournalist Mike Grady went for a hike with a guy who says that more trail traffic does not necessarily mean worse trail conditions.
You listen to the wind blows through the trees, the water through the creeks, just being outside. Steve West, and I started trail work with Volunteers for Outdoor Colorado in 1991. There could be well over 300 or 400 people on a weekday in the summer, on a weekend in the summer come up and down this trail. Hey folks, it wasn't designed for that many people. We're starting to see a berm on the outside of the tread here. The water is not getting off the trail, it's running down the trail, which is gonna, in the long run, ruin the trail. What we've got here is the trail is split. The original trail was probably here on my right, and this is a social trail. In the long run, this is going to have a degradation of the area. You're going to see where somebody has tagged the tree. Don't show it. Yeah, just don't want to encourage folks coming up and doing tagging in our forest. We need folks to give a little bit back to the state of Colorado. We're loving Colorado to death. Gosh, you know, really all it takes to help maintain a trail is a size 48 t-shirt and a size 2 hat. But get with a good organization that can teach you how to maintain trails, how to be safe out there, and probably most importantly, you come off the trail and you can say, you know, I had fun today, and you're smiling. That's what it's all about.
If you want to give Steve a hand, we have volunteer details in the next section on 9news.com. Hey, while you're online, follow @City of Denver. I think they picked up 75 followers in about 5 minutes. New life for a gateway to an old part of Denver. The latest life-saving invention for the military comes out of the mind of a cadet in the Springs, and a sign that we've forgotten how to talk to each other. Next. Haley Weir is an Air Force cadet who set out to complete her capstone project, and she might have just changed how the U.S. military will protect those who serve. She created a new ballistic-resistant material that can be used as protective lining for the military. The Air Force says that test results found her material can stop a 9mm round and a .44 Magnum round. The material did so well in the testing phase, it can technically be certified as body armor to be worn by Air Force Security Forces personnel. It could also ideally be used for tents and armored vehicles. They're hoping it can eventually be developed so it can withstand rifle rounds and other heavy-duty ballistics. We talked to Haley and her advisor about this patent-pending invention.
This is something that we worked with. This, like the space that we worked is probably 8 square feet, if that. Something that we made with KitchenAid mixers and plastic knives that now has got national attention and has the potential to go out there and have a really endless amount of uses.
Again, it's not new science, but it is innovative in the sense that we have created this product that takes existing components, things that we know to be capable of stopping round when layered together, but we've taken new things and added them in a novel way.
Haley got a scholarship to continue to study this material of hers. She's headed to Clemson University to study material science and engineering. Full ride for her. There's a pretty serious restoration project that's going on at City Park in Denver these days. They're making the Sullivan Gateway great again. It's 100 years old. It's that big entryway to the City Park Esplanade. You've seen it. It's on the north side of Colfax. It's right next to East High School. We get a closer look through the lens of our Corky Scholl.
So we're standing near the Sullivan Gateway, which is known as the formal south entrance to City Park, but it's also right next to Denver East High School. And it was part of the Denver City Beautiful movement over 100 years ago. Mayor Robert Speer had a vision that we could beautify the city through our parks and parkways, through monuments and statues, and through classical and beautiful public buildings. And the Sullivan Gateways are really a symbol of that movement. But you can see the terracotta over time has chipped away and corroded. You have holes in it up here, places where water and dirt can infiltrate, and then you get growth like this small bush growing out of the gateway. I think people are always discouraged when they see something that is so important in bad condition. Conversations first started about the condition and preservation of the Sullivan Gateway in the early 2000s. A study was done that estimated about 30% of the gateway was in severe deteriorated condition. So a number of preservationists started working with the city to come up with solutions. And that's what we're seeing now is the implementation of several years of work to achieve the full restoration. I think the City Beautiful monuments still do today what they were intended to do 100 years ago. They inspired us to feel proud about our city. They mark somewhere that's really important, and I think everyone in this community knows that it's a landmark structure that makes their neighborhood special and makes them feel proud to live in this area.
Oh, how about that shot? That's gorgeous. This project's going to cost more than $2 million. Phase 2 should be done by year's end. The third phase is TBD, depending on funding. It's a sign that causes panic for a lot of people, including me, and it really shouldn't. And your feedback, which doesn't cause panic for me, but probably should. It's a sign, perhaps a sign of the times. We do not have Wi-Fi, it reads. Talk to each other. Pretend it's 1995. Really is a shock to think how much time we just spend buried in our phones, even in public places, rather than having a genuine conversation with somebody, maybe even a stranger. David Wood spotted this outside a restaurant called Le Rouge on Main Street in Grand Junction. If you see a sign that catches your eye, send it our way. Email next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag HeyNext. Those folks at Le Rouge with no Wi-Fi, they are not following @City of Denver as the city discovers Twitter. Alex noted, literally watching the City of Denver's followers go up. We checked and we think they've picked up about 150 to 175 new followers over the course of our broadcast tonight. Mixed feedback on our HOV story. Martin Yaramillo says another Kyle Clark hard-hitting waste of opportunity story. There's so much you can cover, man. Where Shannon Smith liked it. She said, I'd say that last interview, the one with the Kurt Cobain-looking dude, says the only difference between 1997 and 2007 is that the jazz cigarettes are legal now. I'm with Shannon on that. See you next time.